Breaking news is from Tigray's capital, Mekelle. Tigray TV, Gata Chorada, Tigray presidential spokesperson, just a few minutes ago confirmed an airstrike on Mekelle, Tigray's capital. This is the first airstrike on Tigray since the start of this new escalation around 3 days ago. Where was this airstrike conducted? How many have been killed? What was the target? What is Ethiopian government's position? What did Getachew say? And lastly, Ethiopian Federal Communication Ministry today released a statement. The statement is a message from Federal Government of Ethiopia for the people of Tigray and for international community as well. It seems that an intensified campaign of airstrikes, drone strikes is going to start on Tigray. We'll have a detailed look at government's statement. Firstly, Mekelle, Tigray's capital. Tigray remained under drone strikes and airstrikes till the announcement of humanitarian truce this year in March. Before March, we saw drone strikes and airstrikes. We saw airstrikes, several airstrikes in Mekelle, in Dadabet town, in Shire. In several cities and towns of Tigray, Ethiopian government forces conducted airstrikes. And back then, if you remember, Ethiopian government did not care to issue statements. Airstrikes, drone strikes were conducted. Tigray used to say that civilians were being killed in the airstrikes. And the Ethiopian government remained silent. It never spoke about the airstrikes conducted before March, and now once again seems to be happening. Tigray TV a few minutes ago shared pictures showing aftermath of an airstrike on Mekelle, Tigray's capital, where according to Tigray TV, a residential area was targeted and the place which was hit is very close to a kindergarten, a school for children. Casualties are being reported by Tigray regional government. How many have been killed? No details so far. Rescue efforts are underway. Government says that it will share details about killed and wounded, but several have been killed and wounded in this airstrike. And Tigray TV, Tigray government, obviously they say that civilians are being targeted. No statement from Ethiopian government so far, and I don't think that the Ethiopian government will issue a statement. We'll see what we saw last year. Drone strikes, airstrikes will continue. Ethiopian government will keep quiet. It won't speak. Gata Choreda meanwhile spoke after this airstrike. Getachew said that on the one hand, international community is calling for de-escalation of situation, and on the other hand, Abiy regime, quote unquote, has sent its jets to bombard civilians in Mekelle. He criticized WFP and USAID as well, that WFP, USAID are accusing Tigray of stealing fuel, but in Tigray people are dying in these airstrikes. And he further claimed that this is day 3 of Ethiopian government's large-scale military offensive, but this military offensive is in a state of disarray. He said these drone strikes, airstrikes did not succeed last time, and they won't succeed this time as well. So it's very much clear that we were discussing, I was discussing with a friend who was saying, Sajid, it's just flare-up of tensions. It's not large-scale escalation. I was saying it's more than flare-up of tensions and less than a full-blown war. Now, you can see it's not flare up of tensions. Rather, it's very close to a full-blown war. Ethiopian government should clarify which targets are being hit in these airstrikes. And when these airstrikes are conducted, obviously sometimes footages are available as well. In the coming hours, it's expected that Tigray regional government will share details with us regarding the casualties, the people who have been wounded. Was it a drone strike or an airstrike? It's premature to say now. Maybe after some time we'll be able to say if it was a drone strike or an airstrike. And we'll talk about the target as well in coming hours. Hopefully, we'll receive information about the actual target of this strike. My position last year was that airstrikes, drone strikes were not against civilians. They were against military targets. Same is the case now, I think, that Ethiopian government forces want to stop TDF's offensive, which is gaining pace. TDF has managed to gain ground to the east of Kobo. So, TDF's supply lines, TDF's military facilities in Tigray, training centers, ammunition depots, all will be targeted by Ethiopian government forces. And some of these facilities would be in residential areas. Having said that, we don't approve, we don't back civilian killings in airstrikes. Civilian killings in airstrikes must be condemned. And keeping in view the precision striking capability of Ethiopian Air Force, which is limited, civilians will be killed because it would be difficult for Ethiopian Air Force to precisely target military targets. It means civilians in Tigray are in danger too. In coming days, this air campaign will intensify. It's not just a border conflict, not just flare up of tensions, it's very close to a full-blown war. Secondly, Ethiopian government today released a statement which seems to be a declaration of war. And it shows the military strategy of Ethiopian National Defense Force, which it is going to adopt regarding this new situation. Ethiopian government said in a statement just a few minutes ago that it kept its doors open for peace talks. But TPLF continued its attacks. And now the government has decided that it will hit military targets in Tigray. And our people of Tigray, the statement says, our people of Tigray should stay away from military facilities, training facilities of Tigray fighters, because these places will be targeted by Ethiopian forces. Now, this statement is an indication that right now Ethiopian National Defense Force and regional forces, they are not going to launch a ground offensive on Tigray. From a far side, from Eritrea side, from Amhara side, no large scale military offensive on Tigray is expected. Rather, air campaign will be intensified. Air strikes, drone strikes will be conducted. ENDF does not want to enter Tigray, it seems. In November 2020, when Ethiopian federal forces, regional forces, Eritrean forces entered Tigray, they made military gains in the beginning, but they could not impose full control over Tigray. Their forces started suffering losses in central Tigray. Ultimately, they had to retreat. During their withdrawal, they suffered more losses. So I think right now Ethiopian government forces are not going to enter Tigray. At a later stage, they might decide to enter Tigray. Right now, they want to weaken Tigray Defense Force by precisely targeting TDF's ammunition depots, military facilities, offices, training camps, all the buildings linked to Tigray Defense Force. And if TDF is weakened after this air campaign, then we could see start of a ground offensive. This statement is a message for international community as well, that Ethiopian government is going to intensify its operation, military operation against Tigray. It's a declaration of war. Interestingly, government said that it was ready to talk as well without any preconditions. No, government has preconditions as well. Ethiopian government has its preconditions as well. One of the preconditions is that no restoration of basic services will be done in Tigray before start of talks. So both parties have preconditions. It's not that the government has not shared any precondition. Some say, Sajid, both parties, Tigray real government, Ethiopian federal government, they have said in the statement within the last 2 days that they are ready to talk. They are ready to sit for peace talks. So it means that this escalation will not increase. Well, my analysis is that these two parties will keep on fighting, keep on hitting each other, keep on killing each other, and they'll keep on saying we're ready for peace. That is what we have been seeing since November 2020.